That Metal Interview.
You are in tune to the fastest rising podcast in the whole planet. Well, maybe. Anyways, your host James for That Metal Interview podcast. Thank you, guys and girls, for accompanying us and tuning in to this podcast, this rock metal podcast. And so on this episode, we have Niklas, guitarist, frontman for the band WOLF. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the band is called WOLF. They are from Sweden. The Swedish frontman Niklas Stålvind, vocalist, guitarist, talks to us about their newest album, Shadowland, Century Media Records. So Niklas presents their latest album, Shadowland, Century Media Records. You guys can find it, stream it, and support the band, of course. Look up their socials, and if you can, order some merchandise, and try to support all these bands, We asked him to see if this album is similar to their last one, Feeding the Machine. He talks to us about the band and all that stuff and the future plans of WOLF. And, of course, I asked him why the band is called WOLF, right? So, anyways, don't forget to pick up your WOLF beer also. They have a beer called WOLF. Isn't that cool, huh? Anyways, nickname Viper. He's going to answer the question of why they call him Viper. Here's Niklas Stålvind of WOLF. Enjoy. Where are you at right now? What part of Europe?
In Sweden. I live outside a small town called Örebro. Or really, it's where I live. It's outside a village outside Örebro, in the village called Odin's Hill, actually. So it's very metal.
Wow, that sounds.
It's 2.5 hours from Stockholm. So it's
okay.
It's like in between Stockholm and Gothenburg.
Okay, yeah, I'm in Texas in the U.S.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So we're here to talk about your new album, Shadowland, Century Media Recordings Records. A new music video, I saw it, the one for Shadowland. Awesome, badass. Can you talk to us about this?
Thanks.
Talk to us about this new album. Who wrote the lyrics, the riffs, the melodies and all that?
Yeah, I've written all the lyrics, and lately, like the last albums, I've written everything lyric-wise, and I write a lot of the music, most of the music actually, but I also love to co-write with the other guys, and now we have a new bass player in the band, and he is also a songwriter. So he and the guitar player Simon sends me, songs that I do my thing on. So sometimes they send me a whole song, and I come up with the melodies and lyrics and sing on it. And sometimes I do the rhythm guitars, maybe wolf it up a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
so you do most of the lyrics, right?
Yeah, I've always done most of the lyrics for the other albums as well, but now for the last albums we have done, I've written pretty much everything. I don't know, I just like to, because when I sing, I really need to sing something I believe in. So I have a really hard time singing lyrics unless they really speak to me. Yeah. And that's why I write them myself mostly.
Wow, I understand that. I play in a local band here in Texas. I sing a little bit, not like you, but I play guitar a little bit. So I understand that. I mean, writing your own songs is a little bit different than singing a cover song. Yeah, I understand. Very cool.
Yeah.
Would you say this album is similar to the last one, or do you think it's a little bit different?
I think it's different. I think, the last album was like a long therapy session for me. I wrote almost all the music, and I wrote all the lyrics, and I just needed to get that thing out of me, because when I was young, I had a really, really dark period in my life, a really weird period, and when I get out of that, I just try to bury it, and forget about it, but it's always come back to haunt me, and I knew within myself that someday I really need to go through this and, do some some shadow work, in my soul, and
Yes.
that's what I did with that album. So it was a very difficult album for me, but after I was done, I felt like a new man, actually, and I've been more happy person afterwards. But this album, for me, this has such a positive vibe compared to the other one. I just feel very happy about this album. The positive energy. It also has been very inspiring to work on the album with the other musicians. The rhythm section was new on the last album, but they came in the band just before they started to record the drums and bass. But this album, they have been co-writing and working. We have been working as a band on this album, and we have had a great time. And I think that energy actually got translated into the music this time.
Yeah, you guys are building chemistry, I guess, huh? A little bit of chemistry there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost. It feels almost too easy with a new lineup. Everything is so smooth, and we like each other. We like to hang around. We can sit 4 dudes in a room and have a good time and relax.
That's very important. Some fans don't know
Yeah.
that. You have to get along with musicians, and because we're all people, right? So it's kind of hard to have some guy on the road that can, he's a big hit or something, anger management.
Yeah, usually there's always one in the band, and a band that's been along for a long time. They are usually not.
Yeah.
It's difficult to be in a band, but you know what I'm talking about. But right now it feels very, very good. It feels almost too good, because where is the tension? Where is the arguments? But we work very well together. I am very thankful for that.
Well, your band sounds good. You guys sound badass. Awesome.
Cool.
So what's your favorite track on this record?
My personal favorite is it is probably Dust. And the ill-fated Mr. Mordrake. I just love that song. It's the ill-fated Mr. Mordrake is also very fun. They both are very fun to play. I enjoy playing those songs. They are, some songs you like because it's a joy to play guitar on them. And also the lyrics on Edward Mordrake. I've always been a sucker for a good story, and that I like a song that tells a story. And
Yeah.
Dust is also special to me, because I feel like I managed to say something that it was on my mind, but I couldn't, explain it in words. But I could explain it in a song.
Yeah.
I just feel there is something there, yeah.
You mentioned playing guitar and singing. How long did it take to learn to do both things? Some people might not understand that it's difficult to do both, sing and play guitar at the same time. Did it take a while for you to get used to it?
It took a while. I mean, I was a drummer at first, and playing drums and singing for me was easier. But then I started to play guitar, and we didn't have a singer, so I started to sing. And of course, there's a very big step in the beginning before you are even able to do it. Especially, sitting with an acoustic guitar, singing an easy song, that's one thing. But when you play riffs and stuff, that's when it gets really difficult. So, but it's still difficult for me, and I have to break down the songs. I still have to learn. It's not like if I know the song, I can play the song on guitar really good. I've rehearsed it's good. I can sing a song. Yeah, I can sing this song. I know the words. I know the melodies. I can do it. But doing both at the same time, that's something completely different. I have to. There's nothing. It's not something I can do naturally unless it's a very simple song to play. So I usually have to break it down to its core components and start. To get. It's a lot of work, and finally you have built. It's like you take a brick after brick, and finally you have a whole house. And some bits are easier, some bits are very, very difficult because your mind plays tricks on you. Like a couple of on the Devil's Seed album, we had a song in a 7/4 timing, and a riff that was like the riff was ba 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 da ba 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 da ba da ba ba, and then it got a backbeat.
Okay.
So it was like 7 hits, not 8 hits. It's very, and then I sang a completely different thing to that, and it was easy at first, but then when you came to the last beat, and there was just something in your head that was twisted and you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I couldn't wrap my head around what was wrong, and I asked other people to try to do it, and no one could do it. And I worked on it for several days, and then I made a mistake, and I did it by a mistake, and I was I did it. How did I do it? How did I? Then I had to try to go back and try to make the same mistake again. And finally, I had rewired my brain so I could do it. I could do it in my sleep. But at first, it was impossible because it was completely unnatural.
Wow.
And so some songs are difficult because of that. There's a weird timing with your hands and a weird, and some songs are difficult to sing and play the guitar because it's very difficult to sing those high notes, and you have to have a really good technique to be able to do it, and that takes a lot of processing power from you. So the thing that when I finally learn how to play and sing a song, then I try to learn the guitar so good so I can play and be unconscious, like it's motorized, almost like a robot playing the guitar.
Secondhand, yeah, that's kind of like another talent, yeah.
Yeah,
very cool.
So it's very difficult. I would never do it in another band because it's so exhausting, but it's also fun to be able to do that sometime, and it has helped me as a songwriter. I think that I play different instruments, but of course it is a compromise, so it's very difficult. It's more difficult than people realize.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how would you categorize your band? You think it's rock or heavy metal or just metal, or how would you categorize it?
I would get just heavy metal, and I mean, in the beginning, some people called it power metal, but that's not what I see. It was just because people didn't think that anyone was allowed to play proper heavy metal. But if you say, I think that WOLF is it's like metal on a rock foundation of rock.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if people call it rock music, that's fine. If people call it metal, if people call it power metal, I'm not so keen about. But I understand that it's a different. In the US, people call some people call just if it's metal and melodic, and especially if the vocals are a bit up there, then they call it power metal. As long as people bang their heads and enjoy the songs, I really don't care. But I mean, we were never try to do something other than just play heavy metal. There's so much kind of subgenres of metal with a prefix, and we just want to play metal without any prefix. Yeah,
exactly. There you go. So you mentioned vocals. You're a badass, awesome vocalist, by the way, and congratulations on that. How did you?
Thank you very much.
Who do you look up to? How did you build your style? Who are your heroes? Your musical heroes?
Oh, at first, when I started to sing because we didn't have a singer, and actually Ozzy Osbourne was early Ozzy stuff was my starting point. I loved his melodies, and I loved the songs, the early Aussie records, and that was something that I was able to do because I realized, I mean, I couldn't just go off from nowhere and do Bruce Dickinson, full-on Bruce Dickinson vocals, you know.
Yeah.
So also was something I felt I maybe I can sing, you know. So I started from there, and then I am very much inspired by Rob Halford. He's been a huge inspiration for me. A singer that I really look up to, especially the early days. He was something else, you know. And when he was in his prime, I think he was the best metal singer ever in my mind. Just his voice. If there is one sound in the universe this is the sound of metal, then it's Rob Halford's voice back in the days. and also I always liked the way he expressed himself. He sang. He never was one of them perfect singers. He just had a lot of feel, and he was so expressive and could express so many different emotions. And he also, I mean, there's stuff where he sings with the bass drum, and he chooses words and syllables that sounds right, not only have a smart meaning or anything. He sings a lot from a feeling of, you know, the sounds just come out of him because and that's something that I've tried to pick up from him, and he's a huge influence for me. But there's so many good singers. I cannot sing like anyone else, and I've never tried. I realized very early on that my voice is so unique, so it's no use for me trying to sing like a normal metal singer, standard metal singer, and I didn't feel that I wanted to do that anyway. So I tried to be me when I sing. But I mean, if we're talking favorite singers, I have like Midnight from Crimson Glory.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I just loved his early work there. And Udo Dirkschneider from Accept is one of my favorite singers as well. Also extremely expressive. I mean, he can sing a ballad with that voice. Oh yeah. It sounds amazing. That's so cool, I think.
Yeah.
Ronnie James Dio, of course. Bruce Dickinson was my first favorite singer because Iron Maiden was my first metal band that I enjoyed. You know, the first metal I heard was Iron Maiden, and I loved, you know, I'd never heard anyone sing like Bruce Dickinson before. So he is also I think one of the absolute best storytellers in the world. The way he sings is so he's telling a story in such a good way. That's something I also try to do. There's so many good singers. I've forgotten most of them.
There's too many
now, but you know.
Yes, too many. So you mentioned all these legendary vocalists, and you have a special voice yourself. I mean, I predict you're going to be one of those. You know, I predict you're going to be one of those Dickinson Halford people. You know, you have a very, very. I can pick out your voice anywhere. You have a unique voice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Like I said, I don't really have a choice. And I mean, my voice is very unique, and I'm thankful for that. But my voice is also it's very sensitive, and it's difficult to work with. It takes a lot of effort for me to sing. It's never been easy for me, and but I think that can be a good thing because you have to fight for it more, and that is something that can be heard in the music. I don't think I get anything for free. When I sing, I really have to sing from my heart because I don't have that Elvis Presley wonderful voice. I am just myself, and whenever I try to sing like anyone else, it sounds like shit, you know.
Right. So I understand some people call you Viper. How did you develop that? How did that come about?
Yeah, we were recording the second album, Black Wings, and by then we had become more aggressive, and we thought that this album should be like black metal but heavy metal. So it's like the darkness and aggressiveness of the black metal attitude, but with heavy metal music. And then we were drunk one night and we came up with those black metal. Every black metal musician have their black metal name, and we wanted to do the same but have a heavy metal name like that. So I was Viper, and the bass player, he was Tormentor, and actually he was called that by the Niflheim guys. They gave him that name.
Cool.
And the drummer, he was like, I want to be Bastard, so he was Bastard. And then we were drunk and felt like this is the best idea ever. We're gonna have these names on the next record. Woohoo! And then we woke up the next day and like, maybe it isn't a great idea, but we kept the names for fun, you know.
Very cool.
And they have stuck. So next always when we had new members, we gave them a wolf name, you know. So we still haven't baptized Pontus and Johan with their new names, and they're asking when do we get our names? But I have a bit of we haven't come up with anything yet. But yeah, it's kind of a tradition in Wolf, but mostly for fun, of course.
That's cool. Yeah, a lot of bands do that. Yeah, cool. So as far as the band name Wolf, where did that come from? Wolf. Why the name Wolf for the band?
Yeah, well, it was because we didn't predict the internet. If we had known that, about search engines and Google and internet, we have never named the band Wolf. But we felt like we started the band in 1995, so internet was almost unknown, at least to us. But we were originally called Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
That's a cool name, but then in Sweden, no one could remember the name Wolverine. People didn't know what it meant, and people couldn't pronounce it in Sweden. So also there was another band called Wolverine, a prog metal band, Swedish band, and they called us up and we can't have two Wolverines. Yeah, but that's okay, you can have it, because we decided we're going to be Wolf from now on. And we just wanted something that was very fitting to the music. We had become more in your face, more simple heavy metal without any fuss about it. It was just plain heavy metal. We thought the name Wolf would suit us really. It would suit us, and people could pronounce it, people could remember it, but from a search engine point of view, it really sucks, actually. That's it's good for us that we have a great logo, because people can at least see the logo and recognize the band, but it's terrible for the search engines.
Well, a little bit, but I mean, it's a badass name, and when I saw the name, I was like, wow, that's very cool. Very, very, nobody's thought of that. Wolf, I've seen Wolfsbane, I've seen other wolf names, but... Yeah,
that's what we said as well. We all these bands, something Wolf, but no one had thought about calling themselves just Wolf.
Very, very cool. I understand you have your own Wolf beer. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, yeah. It's a Swedish microbrewery. I mean, Sweden is not known for great beers. We have, like communist beer here with big companies pouring out like, I guess it would be the Swedish equivalent of Budweiser. But now, the last 10 years, there's been an explosion of beer culture in Sweden. And there's a lot of people are making their own beers, a lot of microbreweries doing high quality stuff. And I found this brand called Heavy Met Ale.
Okay.
And they were like, we are metalheads, we love hard rock and metal, and we also love great craft beer. So their idea was to get the craft beer for metalheads, and they, for a metal audience, beer for a metal audience. So they had a blog. They interviewed me for the Devil's Seed album. And then but your beer company. We have been thinking about actually making a wolf beer. Are you interested? And they have just by then, started to collaborate with bands. So they have made beers for Saxon and a lot of other bands, and they are like, they are so passionate about their craft. We don't get much money from the beers, but it's really high quality, and it's fun to do something like that, and fun to collaborate with other people that are really passionate about what they do. So now we have a Czech Pilsner style.
Okay.
Light. And it's actually the beer I prefer these days. I am not into ales anymore. Not a lot. I like just a very tasty light lager in the Czech or German style. And that's what we have now, and it's really good quality. So it's just a fun thing, but it's cool too. It gets your name out there and gives some people something to talk about.
Yeah. So where can we find your beer? Where can we order it?
You can search for Heavy Met Ale in like 2 words, Heavy Metalle. But the thing is, it's very hard for them to export to other countries.
Okay.
Because Sweden is like, what can I say? It's like almost like East Germany. We cannot go buy alcohol in a normal store. We have to go to the state run liquor store and get humiliated. And back in the days, you only had a ransom. You cannot buy more like this. But I don't know. Swedish people they drink too much anyway, so maybe it was good for the Swedish people's health. But it's kind of everything. It's not like a normal country when it comes to alcohol, so it's very hard for them to export the beer, and that's very sad. So, but if you come to Sweden, you can find it.
Very cool.
You can order it. Yeah, you can order it in the only liquor store that we're allowed to have.
Very cool. So there you go for people in Europe. People in Europe listening to this, there you go. You guys are close by to Sweden, so cool. So changing subject a little bit, who is the biggest rock star you have met so far?
I met Blackie Lawless. He was my childhood hero, so that's the only time I've ever got starstruck, and it's turned out really, really awkward. But that was cool, because he was like, especially back in Sweden, they warned about children about WASP on TV. They thought they would destroy the kids. It was hilarious. But so that was a special moment. And then I met many musicians and many people that I looked up to, and many of my old heroes. But I've only met one. Well, I could say 3 if I count in Blackie Lawless. But he was normal. I was the weird one then. But I met D. Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Was the only. He had like he signed a guitar. The whole band signed a guitar for my kid because my kid was a huge fan of Twisted Sister. So it was like I was passing it on, and that was really cool. And he just had that. He didn't say anything. He was just standing there, but he had such a charisma, Of course, he was in his makeup and he had his stage clothes, but there was something special about him. And he was, he wasn't talking to me, but he was talking to my kid, and it was really cool. Other than that, there's only one rock star I've ever met, and that's David Coverdale.
Oh, yeah. Legend.
Yeah, he was like, most of the so-called rock stars and old heroes I met, they've been completely normal people off stage. Just very nice people, and cool musicians, but not that kind of rock star. But David Coverdale, he was like taken from a movie. It was like meeting Roger Moore or something.
Right.
He just has and he when he walked backstage, he had an entourage of people following him, and you can follow the scent of the perfume that he was wearing. It was. It was amazing, and all his face was filled with Botox, and he was just larger than life personality, and also extremely British and polite, and very, very polite, and he treated us very, very good. And it was a cool story because we had the dressing room next to them when he was, and also Udo Dirkschneider, who I also met that night, but he was completely normal and down to earth, very, very, very lovely guy. But anyway, they had the dressing room beside us, and there were TV monitors, so people in the dressing rooms could see what was going on the next floor where the stage was, so they would know when to go on stage. But for some reason, our TV monitor showed David Coverdale's dressing room.
Really?
And it was so weird. So we were sitting there in our dressing room and, backstage and looking at David Coverdale on TV, and this is crazy. So
Wow.
I grabbed him, when he was walking with his entourage to somewhere, back there, and Mr. Coverdale. Yes, he was extremely British, and then you have to see this because we don't want to take a sneak peek of you, but look at this monitor. And he was like, what? Oh, and there was of course there was Udo Dirkschneider and his band, and there was David Coverdale and his band. So he was so shy. Well, if his wives would know about this, talking to one of his band members. But anyway, he was like, "What's the band? What's your name? Wolf. We are Wolf. Oh, that's a fucking cool name." Taking pictures, and it was just a fun rock star.
Wow,
moment.
What an experience!
Yeah. So. Yeah, but he was. Like I said, most people I've met that I really have looked up to the whole of my life, they've just been nice, normal people, but not rock star in that sense. But David Coverdale, he was a rock star.
That's a true rock star right there.
Yeah.
Great, tremendous history. Deep Purple, Whitesnake, awesome. So,
yeah.
Can you give us an update on the Doomsday Kingdom?
Yeah, it's completely up to Leif if he decides if he gets inspiration and decides I want to make a new Doomsday Kingdom album, then the other guys, me included, will just yes, absolutely, we want to do it. But it's up to him. He wrote that album kind of started as a solo project, but it became more of a solo band because we had such a great band chemistry. And everyone enjoyed it so much. But he is the guy. He writes all the lyrics, he writes all the music. It's just that he gives the art. He gives the musicians and me a lot of artistic freedom to do our thing over his music. But of course, with respect for his writing. But he is very, very open. He wants me to sing like me and not exactly.
Yeah.
Not. He doesn't. That's the way he works. When he decided he wants to work with someone, he don't want to tell them what to do. He picked me because he wanted me to sound like me. So hopefully he will find some inspiration for that and will make another album. That would be really cool. I enjoyed working on that. It was a great experience.
Awesome. So as far as Wolf, is there any plans to tour the U.S.? When can we see Wolf here in the U.S.?
U.S. is a bit difficult because it's very expensive for a Swedish band to go there and tour, and long travels and long distances in U.S. But hopefully we could go back for another festival. The last festival was Prog Power in Atlanta, and we've been there 3 times playing festivals, and we have had a great time every time. Love the audience, love the people. It's been just great experience. So, but hopefully, I mean, if we can get a tour together that makes any sense, that we don't lose money on it, then of course we will love to go to the US. We would love it. And maybe in recent years it's easier for a metal band to tour in US as well.
Would you like to send a message to your fans listening to this podcast?
Yeah, I just want to I just want to say that I really appreciate the reception that the Shadowland album has received, and especially I want to thank everyone who has followed us through the years, from the days when this music wasn't cool until it became cool again, and hopefully some fans will keep following our music even if it stops to be cool to some people. So I mean, this kind of music, I am really blessed to play this kind of music, because dedication of the fans is amazing, and it really warms my heart. It makes all the efforts worthwhile, so thank you everybody.
Awesome. So there you go, Shadowland, Century Media Records. You guys can pick it up, you guys can stream it. Wolf, the brand new Wolf, Shadowland. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate your time talking to us, and it was fun chatting with you. Thank you for making time.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Subscribe, share, follow, like, download, all of the above. You guys know what to do. Very much appreciate it. From myself, James, your friend and buddy. Of course, we haven't met, or maybe we have. And I really thank you guys for your time and your support out of so many podcasts out there. So anyways, be in tune for future awesome artists, more future artists. And you guys can, if you're tuned into our socials, you guys can go ahead and also send in your questions. That'd be very cool, huh? So be in tune to that. So be checking out our socials. Anyways, big thank you to Niklas of WOLF. Support them. Download their stuff and purchase their stuff too. So, and don't forget to keep it metal.